Hello, everyone. I think we're good. Let me know if you can hear. Yeah, I can hear me. All right. Welcome, Funky Boy. Let me know in the chat if you're here, and I will get started with the uh, little intro here. So, this is Developer Office Hour. Happy Friday, everyone! And this is where I answer questions about NVIDIA Omniverse for developers. I do this every week on Fridays at this time. So, as you're working and you have some question, just bring it on over here and we'll answer it. There is this repository with all of the past sessions. Every session is an extension in here, and I have like script files or maybe an extension for every question that was answered. And there is also this Omniverse FAQ where I have links to the videos, every question that was answered on video, and so I like to use this to kind of search. Oh wait, viewport. Where was the what did we cover about viewports? And just search through there. Um, so yeah, let's get started. I've got a few questions here to start it out, and then it'll be open forum. So get your questions ready. Cool. All right, first question. I can't believe I haven't covered this. I haven't covered this yet, but let's take a look here. How do I make a prim unselectable in the viewport? All right, so this is a really good one because there is a lot of interest right now since the RIMAC, I think it's RIMAC, the demo that we did at GTC for a car configurator. Um, this is very relevant to that, right? Because you may want to have a 3D scene that you want to display and have people interact with, but you only maybe want them to interact with the product that you're trying to present, and maybe not click on some background item in the warehouse or whatever scenery you have there. So um, let's take a look at that. This is in the OmniUSD API. It's actually on the context USD context object, and let's take a quick look at that documentation here. So it's just a simple one function here. You give it a prim path and true or false, whether you want to make it pickable or not. So here I set up a world cube. I want to make that unpickable. And if we go into code, let me go ahead and create that cube. And right now it's pickable, right? I can interact with it. So now we'll go ahead and run our code. Oh, connection error. I didn't enable my extension over here. Yes, code. Here we go. All right, that ran. Now we come over here and I can no longer click on it. And I can still click on it on the stage, but not in the viewport. So this is really handy to make it easier to work with the viewport for maybe users that you want to provide some very curated experience. So let's go ahead and make that reselectable, right? We just make it set it to true. And it, and now it's selectable again. And now I'm gonna set this scene up just a little bit more, just to fully demo this because uh, there are some slight nuances that I want to cover here. So here I have, say for example, an asset made up of a cube and a cone. I could go through and uh, cone, cube, group it. I could go through and make each of these unselectable, but it is hierarchical. So if you make a parent prim unselectable, then all of the children will be unselectable. So let's go ahead and demo that. So we're looking at world my asset. All right, run it. And now I should probably make the plane not selectable too, right? But yeah, that's no longer selectable. But the cylinder and the plane still are. All right, and if you wanted to, I don't know if you would ever want to do this, but if you wanted to make everything unselectable, you could probably just do it on the root. And nothing is selectable. Cool. So I do need to keep track of this because even if I make this one reselectable, I believe it still keeps a list of all the non-selectable. So my asset will still be non-selectable. Nope, I lied. So watch out for that. If you make a parent selectable, it's gonna trickle down to all of the children. All right. Any questions on that one? Hello, Michael. I don't know if I said hi before, but don't want to don't want you to feel left out. All right. Let's move on to the next one then. All right. Banner. How do I create custom properties? So this is one that I haven't covered. I've shown it in different contexts, but I think it is worth covering here for new users. Come over here. Let's create a new file here. Okay. So we hear about you may hear about USD and hear about how you can make custom schemas to um, model your data that may not be representable in USD today because the USD schemas are more graphics focused. So you may want to jump right into creating a schema, and you can, but typically we recommend before you invest the time to make the schema and what is tends to be faster is to create custom attributes on some prim um, to represent your data. And once you've kind of honed that in and iterated on it a bit, then move on to creating a schema. So I wanted to show how to create custom attributes because I think that's the starting point for anybody that is interested in schemas in general. So let's pick this cylinder. And you can do this through the UI just by doing here in the property window, add attribute. And this would only be an attribute, right? You wouldn't, I don't think you can do a relationship in this through this UI. But I can say my adder, I can give it a type and custom, and then variability if it happens to be a prim var. That's a little bit more advanced, but typically this is what you're after. And so here I can go into my raw USD properties and I can find it, my adder, right? And I can change the value. So that's how you do it with just through the UI. But you're obviously going to want to do this programmatically. So let's take a look at that. Back over here. I'm going to import OmniUSD. I'm going to get stage USD.getContext.getStage, and then stage print path. Want to get our cylinder, and then need to save that prim, right? So this is going to be a USD prim object, and then on I can go ahead and do some type hinting here to help future us. Import from Pixar, import USD. And then from here, we can do, should have, yeah, see, we have a create attribute function. And let's take a quick look at the documentation for this one, because I already know I'm going to mess this one up. USD prim. I think, did I do a snippet for this? That's also probably why I didn't cover this on video. USD. Oh, look at that, create an attribute. All right, well, let's just follow this. We do have the kit command for creating an attribute. We also have some examples here of how to do it for different types. So the key here is you want to use this SDF value type names to give it the appropriate type. But after that, smooth sailing. So let's go ahead and add SDF there. We're going to call this thing my second adder. And you can look at other examples here. There's a bit of a convention here. I think it is camel K. So for example, display color, interpolate boundary, and you can always change there as metadata in order to show a different name. So give it a different display name. So here we show the display names up here. I was looking at the raw USD property, so it shows the actual attribute names. But then when we display it here, we have a nice display name for each of them. So coming back over here, long answer for simple thing. Let's do a Boolean. Okay, so that's going to give us an attribute object, a USD attribute. And then from there I can set, get, all that stuff. So adder sets. True. Okay. Oh, what did I do wrong? Get prim at path. Okay. And that, no issue. And now we can look at our cylinder and see that it does have my second attribute, and it is true. So I can set that to false. This is all still in scope because I'm doing it in the global namespace here. Whoops. And so now it's false. Okay. All right. So any questions there? I'm going to add the snippet documentation here because that's useful. Yeah, great question. If I were to Michael's asking, what about global attributes, say render properties or something to control workflow rather than properties associated with a specific object? There's a couple of ways that we do that. Um, let's take a look here. I'm going to edit this so we can look at the USDA. So because you said global, you maybe mean like at a stage level. So you could do um, stage metadata. I don't remember if we have custom metadata, and I'm talking about purely on a prototyping level. You can absolutely create a plugin to create your own custom layer metadata like this. So we'll look at the documentation about that to see if we can do custom metadata. Otherwise, we do just a top level um, prim, like a prim at the root of the stage for certain settings. This was not where I should have been looking. It's actually in the session layer. You can see here we have a render settings prim. Um, and so that would be the other way to do it. Let's get rid of these cameras. It's going to be at the very bottom. So here, this is a typeless def, and this is metadata. And here we have a render product prim. And here's a typeless vars and then a render var. So you can absolutely do typed prims. If you wanted to go that route. Otherwise, a typeless prim would work fine as well. And you can just check to see if it has the attributes that you care about. Let's take a quick look at those doubts here about. And one more thing I should show. This session layer, you can show it from here, from this burger menu. So if you wanted to look at that. What do which look like in USDA? The custom metadata? So this would be, it'd either be on the stage or it would be on a layer. Let's start with stage. Maybe custom. Yeah, so I don't see that there. It may be in SDF layer, so let's take a look there really quick. Custom layer data. Yeah, so this would be custom. This would be metadata that you could create without a plugin. So let's try that one really quick. Typeless properties for the code here. No, the properties would not be typeless. The prim can be typeless. You saw that there was there was just a name for the prim. It's a def and then name, but no type. I can show that one. Is that more relevant than layer metadata? I think you want layer metadata. I think that's a good solution. E. We're going to get the root layer. That's going to give us the SDF layer. Root layer. And then layer.set. Custom layer data. This is an SDF layer, pretty sure. Set custom. Oh, unless it's new. It could be. This could be something new. I didn't think it would be. Let's check the type on this. SDF layer. So I didn't mess this up. Set custom layer data. It might be a newer feature. We are moving to newer USD next release, so like very soon. Yeah, I got that right. All right. One more thing. So let's go to the prim approach. No, there's a create. I never do it this way, but define prim. Yeah, I think you can do a typeless or even custom type because it's just a token. So let's try this. Define prim. Stage.define prim. Hello type hello world. And otherwise, if you wanted to do typeless, these two. Let's actually put this in the right spot, right? World. These are prim paths. Right, success, hopefully. Here's my hello. And if we look here, we can see that it is a type hello world, and this one is typeless. And we can look at that in USDA. Plain cylinder. Wow, so much. Typeless and of type hello world. All right, and so once you've got that, then you can create attributes in these. Put these at the root instead of in underworld. Well, it depends how you want to. You may want to put it underworld. You may want to put it outside, depending on if that should get pulled into when that layer is referenced. If it should get pulled in with that, right? So that's why we kind of do environment off to the side, because when this asset, say if this were an asset, if it were referenced, we don't want to bring it over the lights and the and the background or whatever. All right. Any more questions on that one? We should do just a whole session on data modeling. All right, I'm moving on. Can I write custom components for prims like in Unity? So I've covered this one before as well. You know, you guys know I like Python scripting components. But I thought this would be we do have users asking this in this way. They're coming from Unity and they want to know how do I write code like I was doing in Unity. So the answer to that is Python scripting components. There's an extension here. Search for scripting, OmniKit scripting, and what you do. I have a whole video on how to add this programmatically as well. But let's go back to our handy dandy cylinder here. And we just say add Python scripting. All right, that's going to add a component here that I'm just not seeing. There it is. And we can add an asset and then look for a Python file. A really nice way to add a Python file here is to go to content, for example, downloads, right click and say new Python script, behavior script. We call these behavior scripts because your coding behaviors kind of like that's what they call them in Unity, right? Mono behaviors. And we're going to say my new behavior, create it. And so that's going to create the file here. Then you can save this on your nucleus server. You can save this local. And I call this my new behavior. It's probably going to be at the bottom. No? There it is. And then whenever you want to work on it, you can say edit Python script. It'll open up a nice little project here for you, VS Code project. And here you can go ahead and do your scripting, and it'll have the environment set up for not all this stuff, but it'll have your environment set up for IntelliSense and all that. And it gives you a little template here with things that you probably want to do, like do something on update. And then there's no barriers here. You can write any code you want. I think the logical thing is that you write the behavior for your cylinder or whatever you're attaching it to, and but nothing's stopping you from creating like a game controller type of thing that controls lots of different prims. So write your code in here. And then the last bit that you want to do is after you've created the file, you do need to attach it, right? So we're going to come over here and go to my new behavior. And now I can see here in the script editor in the console that the behavior is initialized when I press play. It's going to fire the update, and we're getting the printout from the update function. And there's the on stop. Okay. Any questions on that one? Remember, this is you can write reusable scripts this way. So think about when you're writing your scripts, think about writing them in as components that you may want to use in different scenes. But this is content that kind of is attached to your stage. Where when I save this code is saved with my stage. It's not saved in my stage, but it's referencing it. And so think of it kind of as like code as content instead of as an extension. All right. I don't have anything else to show here. So let's move on. All right, let me see if there's any other questions. All right, I think it's just Funky Boy. I'll get Funky. I have one more question, but I think I need to kind of fiddle with it for a bit. So I do want to get some of these questions out of the way. So Funky Boy is asking about, can you group multiple lights and override the values of intensity and color on the group itself? Um, so you obviously know. It really depends what you're trying to do, what kind of UX you're going for. Obviously, group these together. This is all stuff you already know. And you can edit these all from the property panel. Let's do 30. And that's affected all of them. So we can do that sort of interactive move. We can also, once they're grouped, we can transform them together. You could absolutely write code that says, based on my selection or something, go through and find all the rect lights and manipulate them all together if you wanted to do something like that. There is a notion of collections, but I don't think that's going to help you here. I'd have to look into it, but does that help at all, Funky Boy? I imagine I'm just telling you stuff that you already know. I haven't played enough around with collections to. You know, you can like assign materials to a collection. I don't know if you can. It's more like a one-to-many sort of relationship. But I don't think you can like use that to edit attributes on everything in the collection. So here we use it for material assignment. We'll take a look at the API to see if there's anything useful here, but so even like the way you could use this is they don't all need to be children. They could be lights scattered all over uh, your stage hierarchy. But using the collection, then that would be another way to group them so that you could then uh, traverse all of them and set them all at once. But again, that would be scripted. Yeah, pretty sure this doesn't have any sort of functionality like that you're looking for. Yeah. The other thing that kind of does that is prim vars. Prim vars go down the hierarchy, but I don't think that's gonna. You can't apply that to the lights. Relationships. can can point to other attributes, but that wouldn't. What you're looking for is more like a connection. So I want to say not possible at the moment, at least the way that you want it. Yeah, like I said, collections, from what I understand, is more like, I don't want to have everything in my hierarchy grouped like this. So instead, I can create a collection and add them all, very much like Blender, right? It's hierarchy independent. I can put things in a collection and then um, have a quick lookup that way. But the other thing, the feature that it does have is that you can assign materials to a collection, which is handy for working around a different USD limitation. All right, I will ask to see if anybody else has any. Maybe there's something I've missed, but yeah, I have a clear understanding of what you're wanting to do. So I'll find out. All right, any other one before I dig into this last one? Okay. This last one. How can I toggle the stats heads up display on the viewport? So I thought I knew how to do this before we started, and then I realized I do not. So we're talking about these things here. If you wanted to, make sure that it's absolutely off whenever you're starting an app, um, or you just you want to make sure maybe the user might have had it on, but then you want to go into some mode where you definitely want to make sure it's off. Um, I thought these were controlled with settings, but it doesn't look that way. And no command was fired for it when I toggled these. So one other thing we can look at here before I start going down a rabbit hole is see if there's an action. Those are the purpose displays, but I don't see anything for what we're after. I also, like I said, I checked settings. I didn't see anything there. So it's going to be viewport specific. Manipulator. Very cool, Funky Boy. Very excited that you're getting into extensions and have lots of ideas. Zia had a really great idea that I wanted to share that now I've forgotten. What was it? Hotkey for toggling something. Oh, he wanted like a reset, like zero out the transforms for this, which I'm pretty sure we don't have. So I think that would be pretty handy. At least I do this all the time when I'm kind of testing code. I might be like, oh, hold on, that didn't quite work the way that I wanted, so let me zero it out and go again. So I think that would be a very, very good starting extension. And there's lots of extensions that you could build on. Just think about operations that users may want to do on a selection. Um, so that would be one of them, right? Is zero this out. Um, and you can either do hotkeys or you can have like a little toolbar with a bunch of actions that you want to have easy access to. So I like watching this bounding box. All right, back to what we're trying to solve here. Resolution, that's a setting on that. So we can look at the viewport API and see if we've got something useful there. It looks like it's on the window. If we look at this diagram here, the menu shows up on the window object. All right, let's dig into it. Not this one, this one. So this is when I realized that I didn't quite know how. So I'm doing a search here for FPS colon. This is often a fast way that I find what I'm looking for is try to find some UI string that has what I'm interested in, like this FPS colon here, and then try to find and then search for that in the code because it's got to be somewhere in there, right? So I did find the right place. This is the viewport FPS. This inherits from viewport statistic. Okay. And then I did find these settings, but they say legacy viewport. I tried them out anyways. It did, and it didn't work in viewport too. But this seemed promising, or at least what we want. I think this functionality moved elsewhere. Yeah. So legacy layer settings, self.visible. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. So where is this? This is on the viewport stats layer. So let's check to see where this is instantiated. And this gets added here. And we're still on the OmniKit viewport window. So let's go ahead and explore the API a little bit. In fact, it may even be in OmniKit viewport. All right. Toggle global visibility. Aha, here we go. So it uses these flags here. And viewport display option. Oh, this is going to be a bit of a pain. Maybe, maybe not. So that's the grid, and this is going to be the display options. So they're just going to turn everything off. So this may be actually just enough. What our friend wants to do is just turn everything off. So import Omni Kit viewport utility. I should have started here, right? OKVU. And I think that's it. Just toggle. Okay. That's also affecting the it's affecting show by type. But that's a really good place to start, right? And then if we wanted to, we go in deeper into here and we try to understand these bit flags here. It's just really we pick the ones we want to show and which ones we don't want to show. So this is a bit more than I want to get into, but should we do it? I think that's sufficient for today. We've unveiled the mystery. I'll let y'all decide. All right, there's more questions, so I will switch over. I can always answer this on a separate one if we want to go into granularity of how to do separate ones. But I think this is what particular user in our community was looking for. What I just showed. So let me copy that over, and then we'll move on to the next one. I do want to really re-record this one. So that nobody's watching 10 minutes of me fumbling to get to the answer. This toggle head. Okay. Okay. I'm going to just briefly go over this again, and this is going to feel like deja vu, but it'll save people time in the future if I redo this. So the question is, how can I toggle the stats heads-up display on the viewport? So for that one, that is functionality that is available in OmniKit viewport utility extension. It's in the init py. So at the top level of the extension. And if we look here, all you need to do is import the utility and toggle global visibility. So if we go into code, we can see here that my heads up display is on. We can go ahead and run this code, and it turned off the heads up display. And then we can run it again to show it. You'll notice that it also turned off the lights because it's also controlling this show by types. So let's go ahead and turn this back on. If I click on the right one, toggle it again, and back on. If you want more granular control, then if we look at this toggle visibility implementation, you'll want to set this property after doing the bitwise operators for producing the result that you're after. So here are all of the different flags, and then you combine them in order to produce the final result that you want, and then pass it in and set it to this setting. All right, that's it. All right, and everybody that's here live, sorry. So well, let's go back to, there's some questions about audio to face. As far as I understand, the Blender integration with audio to face is in the Omniverse panel, exactly like Funky Boy was saying here. So there is an A2F section. I don't have that up, but well, let me see if I can launch it. I think this is the latest. Yeah, I won't show this because I don't know if this is the released version or not off the top of my head. But yes, Funky Boys confirmed that it is there. So check what version of the USD, the Blender USD that you're using. Sorry, the Omniverse Blender, the one that we published through the launcher. Check what version you're using. The latest one should definitely have it. Avenue is having some trouble streaming wave file to audio to face. That one really depends how you're trying to do it. We do have a script that the audio to face team has shared for how to yeah, you're just trying to do a wave file, right? So we have a script for that. I don't know if you've looked at that yet, but I'm gonna pull it up right now. Hopefully I have audio to face installed. I don't have audio to face installed. All right, one sec. Okay, I'm gonna try to install it. If it installs before we run out of time, I will go ahead and show that. But it is in the installation. I wonder if we have anything online that talks about it. Audio to face wave file. Is it this one? It might be this one. Yeah, he shows code here, right? Test client. Yeah, this is where the code is. So have a look there. push audio track stream. This is exactly what you want. So that one should do it. Good question. Glad I have that resource out there. All right, last one. Will Song, how do you switch cameras? Yeah, we can do that one. It's actually very, very close here. Let me double check to make sure I haven't answered that one already. Nope. Good question. All right, let's do it. OmniKit viewport utility again. This one is going to give you, there's a function for, where am I? Get active viewport. You can even get the, you really want to get the active viewport. So let's go ahead and do that. New script. I wonder if we have a kit command for this already. No. Okay. So let's do it. I'm going to create a camera. And we'll create one more. Okay. I'm going to hide that grid. So we want to move from there to there. And if you're doing a virtual assistant using ChatGPT or something, I want to see it. Do you want to share a bit about what you're doing? Share your secrets. Okay, so we're going to do import OmniKit viewport utility as view this time. Whoa. And view dot get active viewport. Anything else? VP. I think this is the viewport API that we're getting. And we can verify by printing the type. Run that. Oh, well, I'm pretty sure it's the viewport API. Here's all the things we can do. And we can set the active camera. I guess that's all you want to do. So let's go ahead and you just give it a path. World 1, which one are we using right now? We're looking through camera, so let's look through camera 01. The cone is on the right. So just to remember what we were looking at before. Yeah, or run it now. Still on the right, didn't change. Did I get an error? I didn't. That's the right path, right? World camera 01. That's not gonna help. Come on, come on, come on. Very cool avenue. Yeah. If you can stop by a Discord and share once you've got something working, or even if work in progress, feel free to share on our Discord. I've been wanting to do a virtual assistant code with me, but I feel like everybody is already doing that. So I'm waiting for somebody else to do the tutorial or to do the behind the scenes video. What am I missing here? I need to get to the viewport API. See what I'm missing. Viewport API. Probably search for class. There we are. Maybe no. This so you do camera path. What does set camera path do? Just a convenience function. There's no set camera path. Where did I get that from? Just a camera path. Oh, set active camera. Set active camera wants an SDF path. I gave it a string, but I think it should have accepted that. But let's go ahead and try an SDF path as a sanity check here. Pixar import SDF. SDF path. Oh, I'm a fool. This is a function. There we go. Come on, guys. You're supposed to be looking out for me. Syntax error. My bad. That's the one. This is the one. Ready? Here we go. String is not callable. Which string? No, I think that was the previous error, maybe. Line 5. Let's check to see what it did. It didn't do it. So let's just do a regular string here. It should accept either or. String is not callable. Get rid of this. Got that one. All right. And it switched. Yeah. Okay. I don't know why that was so difficult. And it switched. Cool. So that's how you switch cameras. Use the camera path. I'm not sure why set active camera was upset, because it's the same thing. I'll need to test that a little bit more. Okay, we're over time. Okay, so let's just do this one more time. Get a clean recording here, because this is a good question, and I want to get a clean reply here. So feel free to head out. This will be the last one, but if you want to watch me do it all over again. Okay, so the question was, can you show how to switch cameras? And the idea here is we have our viewport, and we have two cameras here, camera and camera 01, and you want to be able to switch to a different camera programmatically. So here are the paths to these cameras: world camera 01 and world camera. And for the code, this is available in OmniKit viewport utility. You can get the viewport API object and then set the camera path using a string or an SDF path. But that'll do it. So right now I'm looking through camera. Cone is on the right. So I can go ahead and change this to camera 01. Run it. And now we've got the cone on the left because we've switched over to the other camera, which is directly across from the original camera. All right. And that's how you switch active cameras on your active viewport. Cool. So that's it, everyone. If you're still here, I wanted to share one last thing, which is our insider program here in our community page. We have this link to become an Omniverse Insider. This is a form that you can fill out and refill out to provide us information about who you are, what you do, what things you are interested in as far as Omniverse products or NVIDIA products, and also other applications that you're familiar with or an expert in, whether it's Blender or Revit or any of those. The reason that we want to know this is so that if we have any sort of early access testing or tryouts of software, we want to be able to know who would be interested in that and reach out to you for that. And also sometimes we have opportunities for customers or partners that are looking for Omniverse experts, and we want to know who in the community might be a good fit for that. So if you haven't already, please fill that out. And that's it for today. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. All right, see ya.